Welcome to this explainer. We've made it to day 20 of your Express.js journey, which is a huge milestone. Today, we're jumping right into practical API integration testing. We'll be breaking down Supertest, mocking network boundaries with mock service worker, and putting all these pieces together for a really solid full-stack testing strategy.
But before we even touch a line of code, I want you to ask yourself, are you driving your app completely blind? Imagine merging onto a packed downtown highway during rush hour, but someone ripped off your rearview mirrors. Sounds absolutely terrifying, right? Well, that is exactly what it feels like when you deploy untested, flaky Express APIs into a production environment. The front end might look super sleek, but if your backend logic is failing silently, it's your users who are going to crash into those invisible walls. To put that into perspective, think about this number, 84%. 84% of developers are now using AI tools to help generate their code. Because of that, pushing untested code is literally more dangerous than ever before. I mean, AI can write a ton of code incredibly fast, but it doesn't really know your specific business logic. Yet, wildly enough, 13% of developers still aren't testing at all. Your tests are the only real proof that you or your AI copilot actually built what you intended to build. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to map out a testing strategy, pick out our test engine, dive deep into Supertest and MSW, look at full-stack end-to-end testing, and finally, figure out how to maintain the whole suite so it doesn't become a nightmare. Let's get into it. Part 1. Map your testing strategy. We are going to use the classic testing pyramid as our lane markings to keep us safely en route. Think of it like this. Your fast unit tests at the base. Those are your mirrors, giving you split-second feedback on tiny, isolated components. Then you've got the middle layer, integration tests. This is your practice traffic, making sure your APIs and databases actually know how to talk to each other correctly. And right at the very top, you have E2E, or end-to-end tests. That's your downtown rush hour. They're slow, sure, but they validate the entire user journey. Basically, you want a ton of unit tests, a solid chunk of integration tests, and just a tiny, focused handful of E2E tests. Next up, choosing the engine. Let's look at the foundational test runners we've got available today and see what belongs under your hood. Every vehicle needs a reliable engine. Right now, Just 30 is basically your trusty, stable family sedan. It's the absolute industry standard, especially if you're working with legacy enterprise apps or React Native. But VTest 4, that's the zippy new hybrid. It comes with native ECMAScript module support, it's built exclusively for Vite, and it can give you 10 to 20 times faster feedback loops on modern codebases. So the main takeaway here is just to match the runner to your stack. New Vite-based project? Go Vite-test. Huge legacy monorepo? Stick with Jest. Moving on to section 3, test APIs with Supertest. This is all about checking those rearview mirrors we talked about. Because honestly, your front-end tests are your windshield, but you absolutely need to know what's going on behind you. Supertest is a library that lets you test your Node.js HTTP layers directly in memory, meaning it lets us hit that Express HTTP layer to safely check routing, middleware chains, and status codes, all without the massive overhead of spinning up and tearing down a live server process on a dedicated network port. It is incredibly efficient. Setting it up is just a quick 3-step maneuver. First, install it. Second, and this is the part people always seem to miss, you have to export your Express app without calling the listen function. You really don't want the server booting up automatically the second your test imports it. And third, you just pass that exported app object right into Supertest, and it magically handles all the internal network routing for you. But let's be real for a second. The official docs will show you these beautifully clean, perfectly pristine routes in an empty parking lot. Real life, though, it's packed with tightly coupled database calls. If you run a destructive Supertest suite against a shared dev database, you are literally going to nuke your teammates' data. So, pro tip, always use an isolated test database and reset your state completely between runs. No destructive collisions allowed. Section 4. Mock boundaries with MSW. Let's connect the front end to the back end and build a safe practice traffic wall. As your React components start calling real APIs, we need mock service worker, or MSW, to step in. Recent testing reports keep hammering this home. Intercepting network boundaries with a realistic fake backend is a total game changer. It means your front-end tests can run reliably and flawlessly, even if the real backend is down, painfully slow, or just hasn't even been built yet. To get it running, you install MSW, and then you define your API handlers.
These dictate exactly what JSON your fake backend is going to spit out for specific routes. Next, you create a server for your test environment. And finally, you hook that server right into your global test setup. Once you do that, any fetch call your front end makes gets instantly intercepted by MSW. And trust me, this is a massive upgrade. Without MSW, real life is kind of a nightmare. Developers usually end up with all these ad hoc, hand-rolled stub overrides scattered chaotically across hundreds of different test files. It is a complete mess to maintain. MSW saves us from that entirely by giving us a single, highly trustworthy fake backend that behaves just like the real deal. Section 5, Full Stack EDE Testing. We are officially hitting the road in live rush hour traffic. You've checked your mirrors, you've practiced in the lot. Now it's time for the real thing. You've basically got two main choices here. Playwright is your cross-city GPS. It drives multiple browsers and is ridiculously fast, making it excellent for CI pipelines. Cypress, on the other hand, is your super comfortable in-dash system. It's got this amazing time travel UI that makes the local developer experience fantastic. Whichever you kick, remember the pyramid. Strictly limit your E2E to your absolute most critical 3 to 5 user journeys, things like sign up, login, and checkout. Finally, Section 6, Maintaining your test suite. We need to make sure our dashboard warning lights are actually accurate, because a test suite is only as valuable as the trust you put in it. If your check engine light is always flickering, you're going to stop looking at it, right? Flaky tests are the ultimate enemy of trust. We've all seen the symptoms. A test works perfectly on your machine but bombs in CI. Or it fails randomly because some async UI element took a half-second too long. Or worse, it breaks the second someone changes a CSS class. That just trains developers to ignore the dashboard entirely.
So how do we fix it? You tackle it mechanically. Align your CI node versions so they match your local setup exactly. Strictly isolate your database state. Clean it up before and after every single test run. And on the front end, stop querying the DOM using those brittle, fragile CSS paths. Instead, use semantic queries like get-by-role. Interact with the page exactly how a real user or someone using a screen reader actually would.
Which brings us to the end of day 20. Every single unit test you write, every Supertest API check you run, and every MSW boundary you mock is a critical blind spot that you have successfully covered. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Take a hard look at your current codebase. Are your safety systems actually ready for production traffic? Keep that in mind, and I'll catch you in the next one.